Yo fam, what is up? You are back for another video with DataZero. This is your daily outlook and prediction for stocks and crypto. This video is not financial advice, should not be taken as such. Let's hop in the charts, facts, and data right now. So ladies and gentlemen, we do have some uncertainty being caused by conflict in the Middle East. I broke that down on stream, what's really going on, and I also broke down on Twitter/X what is happening. But this will be affecting all stocks and the market, so that's something we need to be aware of, and that's why I'm mentioning it right off the bat. I'll get to more detail in the SPY section. Even if you don't hold or trade SPY, you should watch the whole entire video because all of this stuff is tied together. Now, what we're seeing here for AMC and GME, they did pull back with the overall market like I expected. I talked about this on the weekly outlook and prediction. We literally called this to a T. I told you guys we would bounce around 290, 295 for AMC. You can see AMC came down and bounced at 293. I told you yesterday that we would come down and come down into the buy orders for AMC and then get a pop back to the upside. And this is exactly what happened here for AMC. We talked about this in the weekly outlook and prediction. I told you guys we would dip down into these buy orders. You guys can see we have these buy orders from $3 all the way down to $2.90. I said we would dip down into those and then we would start to push to the upside. I said we would see a little bit more downside before the recovery, but I do think we're going to see recovery this week and have a green week, and so far we're on track with that, as we are tracking with my macro prediction as well. I told you guys we would pull back, and now we're going to start working our way to the upside in my personal opinion. I believe that AMC is going to move up to $3, holding that level, and once we hold $3 and hold that level, you're going to see a nice pop up. AMC and GME both created gaps to the upside when dropping down. So we have gaps on the daily time frame and gaps on the smaller time frames to the upside here for both AMC and GME. AMC was able to fill some of its gaps today. It started to go into the gap, but wasn't able to fill it all. We have a gap starting at 301 all the way to going to 303. And for GME, we have a gap starting at 2333 to 2337. When with these gaps, that means meme stock dips are for buying. GameStop was able to get a push to the upside after breaking above the sloping support and resistance. I told you guys a little bit more downside before the recovery, and this is exactly what we've seen on GameStop. I told you what I was worried about in the weekly outlook and prediction, this rounded top that we were kind of making here, which means that GameStop would have to pull back a little bit, like I said, and that's exactly what we've seen before pushing up. But GameStop has a massive gap fill here on the daily time frame, which is going to get filled. This gap fill starts at 24.30 and goes all the way to 28.45. This gap is definitely going to get filled. So like I said, the meme stocks are going to recover, but we had to have a little bit more downside before that happens. Now, what we could expect for tomorrow, again, is a little bit more downside, as I think tomorrow is going to be the last day where we kind of consolidate, maybe move down, and then we'll start recovering in the later half of the week. So this is what I'm looking at for the meme stocks. I also want to point out GME. Cost of borrow starting to go back up, sitting at 1.46%, spiking as high as 2.50%. It's because they're shorting so much. And this is why GameStop is also pulling back. So GameStop can tend to move against the market, but what they'll do to try to convince people and also take advantage of algorithms being triggered and day traders taking profits and people taking profits is they'll dump on the meme stocks heavily on days that the market is pulling back. And you guys can see they went crazy on GameStop, starting with 5.6 million short shares, dumping all the way down to 4.5 million short shares. At time of recording right now, they're sitting at 4.5 million short shares here for GME, and they're sitting at 3.30 or 3.3 million short shares here for AMC. AMC short interest sitting at 14.90%, a decent amount of short interest if shorts were to get squeezed, and GameStop short interest sitting at 11.63%. With all of this shorting, I would expect to see GameStop's short interest go up during the next report that we get. Now, again, we do want to keep watching cost of borrow because we want that cost of borrow to go up. Cost of borrow for AMC sitting at 0.60%, and then cost of borrow for GME sitting at 1.46%. Since they're shorting so heavily, I expect cost of borrow to go higher. I did say that in the weekly outlook and prediction, and we did see that spike. I'm expecting to continue trending up, and that should be bullish for price. Now, what we could see tomorrow here as far as both of the meme stocks are concerned is I'm expecting some consolidation in the morning. Then we'll pull back. We'll probably retest either 2280 or 2291, and then we'll find a bottom there, and then we'll be able to push up. I think we'll be able to get a green day tomorrow, in my personal opinion, but don't be surprised if you do see downside in the beginning of the day. Kind of similar to what we've seen here, where we pulled back and then found a bottom and then pushed back up rapidly. You could see something similar tomorrow, but not as much downside. So I think we could see a green day tomorrow, in my personal opinion, but it's going to start off slow, and then moving in the later half of the week, we should see recovery, getting that green week that I am looking for. As far as AMC is concerned, I think AMC is going to consolidate right underneath $3. You'll probably see a drop down to like 298, 296, and then you'll find support there, and then you'll be able to push up. Once AMC holds $3, it should start to move up a little bit more quickly. I know it's been kind of stagnant, kind of barcodey. Once we break and hold $3, we should be able to see a decent move to the upside here for the meme stocks. Now, remember, the overall market's going to see a lot of volatility, and we have a lot of things coming up which will affect the entire market. But I believe we're going to see a green week here for AMC and GME. Let's go ahead and move into SPY, the overall market, show you guys what's going on there. Just want to quickly point out we have huge buy orders here for AMC, which means like we're most likely going to push up, and then we have these sell orders sitting at 305. Now, as far as SPY is concerned, SPY moved as predicted as well. I told you guys that if we saw a big drawdown in the morning, you would see recovery to a higher low, or a lower high. I do apologize, a lower high. So you have this high, and then this is a lower high. So I told you guys we would push up, and then we would see a lower high, and then we would pull back. That's exactly what we've seen. Then I went on the live, called out the bottom, and said that SPY was becoming bullish. SPY then pushed up, and I said that we broke above the sloping support and resistance and made this bull flag. Most likely you're going to see a pop to the upside, and we did see that pop to the upside, and I called out a play in the Discord. So if you did take advantage of that, you are absolutely printing. If you want to get in the Discord, hit me up on my email, DataZeroOfficial5, linked in the comment section description. It's $100 for a lifetime invite, exclusive technicals, plays, and information, and exclusive community as well. That play is absolutely printing right now, as we are hitting my price targets here in after hours, and we will tomorrow, because I do expect SPY to push higher. Again, just listen to the charts. Do not listen to rationality. Do not listen to emotion. SPY is going to do what it's going to do, and that's why I've been so accurate on SPY, because I've been just calling the charts and keeping my emotions out of it. It broke above the sloping support and resistance. It's going to push up, and you know why? Because they need buyers, okay? These large positions cannot sell their positions when it's moving down. If they were to do that, it would absolutely tank. And sometimes they can't even get out if it's too much selling, because there's not enough liquidity for those large positions to get out. So they have to sell little chunks of their position at a time, and that's not what they're trying to do. You guys can see that we're breaking through these sell orders here, and we're also breaking out of a falling wedge here for SPY. So I expect SPY to push up to like 603, 605 before pulling back. Okay, I think we're gonna push up and then crash down. Okay, I know people think it's gonna go crazy after this, but I think we're gonna push up. RSI is gonna get overbought, and then we're gonna crash down. Why do I think this? Because we're starting to build bearish divergence on the daily time frame. Okay, RSI is trending down as price is trending up. Okay, so this is bearish divergence on the daily time frame. RSI clearly trending down, price clearly trending up, especially if it makes a new high. That's why I think it's going to go up and then correct down in a big way, in my personal opinion. Also because NASDAQ is breaking down out of a rising wedge. Same the way it broke down out of this rising wedge, it took time before breaking down. Look how long it was flat before breaking down, but it still broke down because it has bearish divergence on the bigger time frames. This was on the weekly time frame last time it broke down. Now it's on the daily time frame. RSI trending down, price trending up, rising wedge. It flattened out and then broke down. Same thing's happening, except it's on the daily time frame. RSI is trending down, price is trending up, rising wedge. It's going to flatten out and correct down. Okay, so we're going to see a little bit push up on SPY. Like I said, bullish Monday, Tuesday, then probably heading into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll start to see bearishness. Tomorrow, we have Fed Chair Powell testimony, which is going to be huge. I'm expecting bullishness in the morning and then expected some bearishness maybe in the evening. Then Fed Chair Powell testimony continues on Wednesday. Then we have GDP and durable goods on Thursday. GDP is expected to be bearish. And then personal income and personal spending month over month and core PCE on Friday. This week is insane, full of many data drops. So this is what we're looking at for SPY in the overall market. Also, these things are going to be affecting the market as well. Iran has attacked a U.S. base in Qatar. Things are escalating rapidly, ladies and gentlemen. I talked about all of this in the live stream. I don't want to get into it here in the video, but there's a reason why these things are happening. There's a reason why these conflicts are happening, and they're going to continue to escalate, okay? I don't want to get into conspiracies and stuff like that or telling you guys what I believe to be the case. I break that down on the live streams. Make sure you guys follow me. Hit the like button, subscribe, put the bell notification on. That way you see when I go live, or check out the live stream from the day. But as far as this is concerned, all you need to understand is it will be affecting the market, and it could cause some things like oil and BTC commodities, precious metals, things like that to increase in price. And could go into the narrative of creating a macro bear market later down the road while commodities have a bull market. So this is what we're looking at as far as news and things you need to know. Unfortunately, this U.S. base was attacked, and we also did retaliate already for that, like I said we would. So this is what we're looking at for SPY in the overall market. Let's go ahead and go to BTC and show you guys what's going on there. And just like I said, bullish. Bitcoin dips are for buying. I told you guys that. This is bullish, ladies and gentlemen. We just used the sloping support and resistance as support, and Bitcoin is pumping up almost 5%, up 4.5% right now at time of recording. Ethereum up 8%. Altcoins are pumping. Bitcoin dominance is so high that when Bitcoin pumps, altcoins are going to pump. When Bitcoin dumps, altcoins are going to dump. Bitcoin controls the altcoin market, especially with Bitcoin dominance being so high. Right now, Bitcoin dominance sitting at a staggering, right now, 62.3%, ladies and gentlemen, 62.3% at time of recording. So again, Bitcoin being up 4.5% means altcoins are going to pump like 8, 10, some of them even 20%. Cardano ADA up 7% as well at 58 cents. Ethereum at $2,400, and Bitcoin at 105.7. RSI starting to get overbought for Bitcoin, but Bitcoin has support at 104.1. We might see a pullback down to that and then start moving back up to like 106 or 108. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin dips are for buying. They need to shake you out of your Bitcoin. Every time you see these fear and FUD articles start coming out, it's because they want to steal your Bitcoin, in my personal opinion, okay? The only way they can get your Bitcoin, they can't print more, they can't reverse split, they can't dilute, so they have to make you sell, okay? They want Bitcoin right now because they understand what's happening. Just like gold, it's gold, but better. It's easier to move, it's easier to transport, it's more finite, and this is the future. They're also going to start using blockchain, and I don't really want to get into this, but they're going to start using blockchain and blockchain technology pretty much for everything. Everything's going to be tokenized. So they're moving us into a new system. There's a huge crypto bill coming out as well that I was talking about. I don't know if I have it here available, but Trump is trying to press the House to pass this crypto bill. The USA is going to become a huge hub for cryptocurrency. This is literally going to be the future, ladies and gentlemen. So if you don't own crypto, not financial advice, you definitely want to look into it. You want to learn about it and then safely invest. Again, in my personal opinion, this is not advice, but crypto is going to be taking off, and that's why I hold my Bitcoin and do not sell, and I buy the dips. So Bitcoin getting a nice recovery back to the upside. If we go ahead and look at the fractal for BTC, this could be a slight bounce before we do see a little bit more downside, but the overall downside is going to lead to eventual pop up. As you guys can see, what the fractal is saying here is we might come down a little bit, but we have these buy orders sitting around 100 to 95K, and we have these buy orders sitting at about 90 to 88K, and I really don't see Bitcoin going under 90K in my personal opinion. Maybe a brief dip below. You guys can see right here the fractal does call for that, but as of now I think Bitcoin's going to basically be consolidating above 90 to 100K, and then eventually bring in an altcoin season when Bitcoin makes this pullback that the fractal's calling for, and then pop to the upside, hitting my overall price targets. I've been accurate on every single price target on BTC, so if I don't hit this price target here by 2026, this would be the first target that I have missed, because I did call for 80K well before anybody was calling for 80K, and I called for it in 2022 and 2023 when I told anybody who was watching, basically I'm accumulating under 28K, and accumulation under 28K would be a golden spot. And you guys can see, obviously, anybody who did accumulate under 28K did very, very, very well, as we're up over 550% from those levels. So that's over a 5x. So I think Bitcoin is going to be consolidating, following my predictions as normal. As far as altcoins are concerned, you know, altcoins are just going to be following Bitcoin. So you're basically in Bitcoin's market right now, as the Bitcoin dominance is so high. So when you see Bitcoin pull back, your favorite altcoins will pull back. If you see Bitcoin pump, your favorite altcoins will pump. So maybe if you see Bitcoin pull back and you want to add on your favorite altcoins, that would be the time. As you guys can see, altcoins are now flourishing as Bitcoin recovers. And like I said, these unstable times do not get shaken out, because these are actually times that people will flee to Bitcoin and flee to the safety. They're trying to shake people out. The truth is, Bitcoin, only hold your Bitcoin, never sell your Bitcoin, not financial advice. So this is what we're looking at for stocks and crypto. This was your daily outlook and prediction. If you found this video informative, go ahead and drop a like. Listen, I got a merch store. Check out the merch store in the comment section and link down below. We also have a Discord as well if you guys want to get involved in an exclusive community, exclusive technicals, buy and sell signals. It literally pays for itself. You don't have to take my word for it. Go ahead and hop on the stream and ask, is the Discord worth it? The community will tell you. It's only $100 for a lifetime invite. Hit me up with my email, DataZeroOfficial5, link down in the comment section description below. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you. If you want to support for absolutely free, all you have to do is hit that like button, subscribe, share the video. That's a great way to help me out. And if you watch to the end, that helps me out as well. And as always, I appreciate y'all, because I couldn't be here without you. Have fun, stay safe, and most importantly, make money. Peace out, fam.